episode of the Small Business Podcast, your go-to source for small business insights and inspiration. I'm your host Maheen, and today we have an exciting episode ahead as we dive into the world of e-commerce and the upcoming trends that will shape the industry in the coming year. Our guest today is a true visionary in the world of e-commerce. She's the co-founder, COO, and head of global at Shoplazza, one of the leading e-commerce platforms known for its innovative solutions and support for small businesses. With a background in law and finance, she brings a unique perspective to the e-commerce landscape. Please join me in welcoming Alyson Zhang. Hi, Alyson. How are you today?
I'm good. Thank you very much. I'm honored to be here.
Very pleased to have you with us this afternoon. Now, Alyson, let's dive right in to start and kick off things. Could you share some insights into the key challenges small businesses face in the competitive landscape of e-commerce and how can they overcome them?
Sure. In general, we have two sets of merchants we serve. One is the we call that digital native, and another set is brick and mortar. For digital native, everyone probably know very well because of the COVID. Everyone is shopping online. But now, as the changes, first of course, the more and more expensive online trafficking acquisition costs, and the plus they have competitors coming from the Temu, the gigantic the organizations from APAC, from China. And then the secondly is in general the return of the offline traffic. People are going to a store and experience something they're used to have. And then the third, of course, we all know is the weaker and weaker purchasing powers we have, the higher interest we pay for the mortgage, etc. So yes, they do facing very fierce competitions compared to the past. But what they can do, we do see some of them are standing out. For example, they are utilizing our product recommendation tools, which can really understand what product has been browsed, how long they've been browsed, and whether they've been added to their cart before they are checking out. So by having that little data learning, and then at the end of the checkout time, the store can provide the recommendation items to any of the shoppers online, then they can have higher purchasing order values in the end of the day. So if you can use those tools you have around you, and it can help you to stand out, even though you are still paying more for the traffic acquisition. However, you are getting more revenue for each of the orders at the end of the day. So that's the online ones. We can see the competition, the fears of the landscape. However, they do have tools we offered for them to leverage on their data. And then the second segment, brick and mortar, they're very different, very different. They're still quite traditional, even though there's a COVID hit them, but then once the store comes back, the offline comes back, they return their ordinary business. So in general, they're not tech savvy. They don't really know what to do with the social commerce, social media. But however, what they're so willing to do is connect to the Gen Z because the demographic are changing. They don't only want to serve the millennium, I am the millennium, but then they want to serve the Gen Z, and they have different way of being touched, being explored, discovered the products, and then in the end of the day, get purchased. And for them, I think the key is to really find a partner, a tech partner which can help them, because it has to start from small. Nobody can start from from 0 one day, 0, but the second day there's gigantic digital empire they have. But what we have, there is a smart retail functions we provided for them specifically is it starts from retail. So it learns how they operate from the store. And then, nevertheless, we connect the dots from the store to the online, and then we help them to really get engaged with the online shoppers they are willing to contact. And then, at the end of the day, the inventory will be synchronized not only from the offline store, but also the online as well. There are so many pings actually we hear from the merchants says, yes, I have online store, but however, our inventory management system are broken into two parts. So I could very easily oversell online, so we should have to offer more expensive products to the consumer for the sake of satisfaction and then the experiences. But our solution is really to tackle that. It sounds easy, sounds like small, but nevertheless, it's the customer-centric function they have to looking at, and then try to bring the value in the end of the day to their customers.
Absolutely. Now, as a COO of Shoplazza, which is a very leading e-commerce platform, what's your vision for the future of e-commerce, and what growth strategies do you recommend for small merchants? As you mentioned, they are going through a lot of challenges and they're finding a bit of a difficulty with, competing themselves prior when they were brick and mortar, right? They're also looking to thrive in the upcoming year. What recommendations or strategies do you have for them?
To me, in the future is data is the future. So you have to somehow collect the data, somehow leverage the data you have. And then now we're talking about online. Everything is online, offline, all synchronized together. So to me, e-commerce store is not only the transaction store. It's not a business actually. It's actually a data powerhouse.
Right.
So for my very root of the recommendation, start building up your powerhouse as soon as possible. It could be small, could be suit what you need. For example, we have many AI application tools we will offer to our merchants. Depends on their stage, depends on their maturity of their business. But the simple one, let's say dynamic content writing from ChatGPT 4. So that's everyone can benefit from that one. Give a little prompts and then try what you want. And then surprisingly, they know more than your than you know your customers, because they're learning from the very vast of the online data. But then you only know your portion of the customer. However, there are many lookalikes among there. That's how normally in the past Meta, Facebook advertisement has been very successful. They look like lookalike consumers. They don't actually look at the individual tedious of the data, but then they are looking for someone who look like each other. So the data powerhouse would be the first start, but then would be the future as well. You start now and you build up your powerhouse, and in the future you can leverage. So simply you can start with the content writing, make it easy for your life. You can we have like Better Creator, a tool which help apparels, any of the company, the merchants, if they need a model to picture their media assets, then that could be saving their tons of monies. From any 2D apparel pictures to mannequin pictures, you can change that into a human model. The different color, different size, and then the background, of course, will be changed, depends on the clothing or whatever products you are putting on that picture. So that, again, you don't need to hire anyone. Someone, I think like 5 years ago when I first started, someone told me, oh, Miami is the best place to find a model. They're cheap. And then you can go there and shoot the whole season stuff. Now you don't need to even to travel. You can just go all over the world from the internet. Find the right time in the season, and then the pictures alike, and then bring them together. That's a human modeling, to your pictures. So Better Creator, and as I mentioned, a very simple adoption of the content creation could get you used to that, AI data-driven world. And then we also offer something we call like AI website builder, because we know even though we try to simplify the technology, however, you still need to drag and drop. That sometimes looks easy, but could be complicated when you are using your mouse and click through. So we provided that. So this tool is, if you have any of the assets online, you have Instagram, for example, you're an influencer, for example, but you have tons of pictures from your Instagram, you can just sync that account to our platform and then select the pictures you like. And then give a little prompt saying, I like the tone, I like the font, and I want the warm color. I want this to be to mothers, like new mothers. Then a website will be generated towards that audience, towards that type of prompts you put in. So make life really easy for anyone who doesn't want to really learn that technology from the beginning. But of course, we also leave room for you to customize in the future. So machine can do so much, but also so little as well. Depends on what you think. Your brain has a bigger brain, and you think the machine is not really up to your standards. But however, it saves your time. It saves your way of learning the curve. And then once you have that site, and then take your time to feel that, to get used to the functionalities, and you can start to customize really into granular parts. And then that's what we offer.
That's amazing. And yes, I think in the previous episode, we had Yuki-san from Shoplazza, and we really spoke about influencer-based marketing using, Meta and using Beta by Facebook. And it's great to see how the resources are just way beyond your imagination now in terms of, you don't, as you mentioned, you don't have to travel, but everything's just available on your fingertips. Now, Alyson, AI has been making waves in the industry, and this is what we, discussed just now. How can small businesses really adapt to these innovations in a dynamic e-commerce ecosystem, and what benefits can they really expect from incorporating AI into their operations?
Sure. To me, again, AI really starts from the data. So you need to have a data-driven mind. First of all, you need to know, oh, okay, I need data. And then you need to think where I can collect the data. And then the third is, what is the best way to collect and use the data? Everyone knows websites. It was way back to the old stage already. Even our parents know the internet, everything. But really utilize the internet is a different story. So again, don't look at e-commerce store as a business model, but as a data powerhouse. Again, I just record what I've mentioned. I really encourage everyone who doesn't have a website to think to have a proper data collective website. So not every website, not every online website can actually contain the data. You need to find the right website which can contain, can segment, can filter, and then further feed into the machine whichever you want them to learn for the future leverage. So that's the first of start. Mark that, and then secondly, find a tool to contain all the data and then to be able to train and leverage the data for the future. So that's the first step. And the second is, I think I mentioned earlier already, start small. Start something you feel comfortable. Content could be the easiest one. Everyone can try to make themselves an author, for example, and then a writer, and then try to use different prompts to try, oh, maybe I can write something different about my products. Maybe that page can attract more people. Even you don't even use that online. You can just have the poster printed and then you stick onto your window to see, oh, maybe I got more people in this day, and then look into my window and then walk in. So those are the AI, even though it shows offline, but however, it generates from online. And then the machine, of course, learns from online too, and then what Gen Z are browsing and what they're commenting about, what's a hashtag, they're trending about. So that's a machine can tell you something you're not really familiar with. You don't have time really to browse yourself. So start something you're comfortable with, and then again, don't really think that's too like a monster. You can't really touch. I'm like, for example, I'm like 60 or something, but I have a store and I think that's not for me. Don't think that way. Just open up your mind and then try something, you feel comfortable. And something I can mention is from our we have the smart retail solution. That's, as I mentioned earlier, designs from the retail, designs from offline store. So we know whether you're like 20s, 40s, or even 60s in your store, how you operate. You probably have a little clientele book and then written down the date and the birth, for example, of your clients, what's their anniversaries, everything. Those things could be put into online, and then your customers will continue to browse online, and you learn from the online data dots as well, and then what's the next to recommend. Maybe they're now looking to something, I don't know, the winter's coming, and then it's the adventure of ski season. They're looking for something ski related, something in the hand screen that tackle the winter weather. So that's something you can offer, but which you wouldn't know from the traditional retail point of view. But the online data powerhouse can really equip you with all the knowledges which they do browsing online, which Instagram they're looking at. So that's something I think would help them to be more resilient in the future.
Absolutely. Now, Alyson, with changing consumer behavior and tech advancements, e-commerce trends evolve rapidly as well, right? Now, could you highlight some emerging trends or technologies that you believe will shape the e-commerce landscape in the coming year, and how should businesses really prepare for these changes?
That's something I'm really interested to talk about. In the past, we say Web 2.0. We say, you see what you buy. But now, even though not yet, we see Meta, has invested tons of millions into the augmented reality AR. But that's the future, which we also believe that is you feel what you buy. With all the hardware technology advancement in the future, you don't really see, you feel it. You can feel the weight, you can feel the texture, you can hear the sounds, and then everything is more, virtual reality towards the real reality. So that's the trend. So everything will be help people to go online and then feel more, touch more, and then get to the point of I can buy bigger stuff, I can buy more expensive stuff, I can buy something I used to feel the texture, but that's something could happen in the future.
You never know.
You never know. But however, it doesn't mean offline will die down. People still go to the store, but what the offline store can benefit from online is, as I mentioned earlier, you know better about your customers. You know where they are and then where they visit. And then when they get in the store, you give them really customized services, which normally you have to take maybe years of time to understand and learn your customer. But in the future, maybe just one clip of video, showing everything they've visited for the past months. And then when they walk into store, oh, that's a person. I knew last time they went to that restaurant. I love that dish, and then the wives are happy, and then the kids are having their birthday coming up. So that's the both ends are actually benefiting from the future. Not everything online only, but offline will serving greater value towards the customers.
Right. Now, Alyson, Shoplazza plays a very significant role in supporting, e-commerce businesses specifically. Could you share some insights into how Shoplazza is contributing to shaping the future of e-commerce and what unique features or of services does the platform offer to help small businesses thrive in the digital marketplace?
Of course, absolutely. As I mentioned earlier, already touched upon lightly, is the smart retail solutions we provided. Because we really see the struggle of retail. During the COVID, we see the booming of the digital native businesses. They leverage on their knowledge, leverage on the skills on online trafficking, acquisition, etc. But that's not the forever to me, and that's not the largest amount of business there should be. The offline is still the majority of the business, but they couldn't get online so easily. All the solutions we can see nowadays, like WordPress, WooCommerce, Wix, Lightspeed, and Shopify, they are all, to me, digital native started. They serve people who knows online. They know the social media. They knows how to do in the traffic from their past experiences, or they're just a social media tech person. But what happened to those retail? They don't know. They couldn't use it very well. They couldn't actually really think what the online to the offline. So what we think is we really should help them to bring that gap in between. But they need leverage on the data. But they have the majority. They have the best customer services experiences in their past. They should be able to bring them to the online and make their business even booming in the future. So the smart retail starts from retail, starts from brick and mortar. So then we learn their actual business process, and then we synchronize those offline to their online businesses. And then one thing I mentioned earlier is inventory management. It sounds typical, it sounds a classic, but not every store owner can really have a seamless online inventory management and offline management. Very often overselling is very often happening, and as I mentioned, they have to sell something more. They have to offer something more expensive, which they're losing the money. Even though it's good to have someone purchase online, but they're actually losing their profit in the end of the day.
Right.
So by helping them to really having a one-stop or a consolidated inventory management system can help them not only to expand online from one store to online, but multiple stores too. Depends on capacity. So small business, one store, they can have that consolidated data inventory management by one place. For multi-stores, they can also benefit more actually from our consolidated inventory management system. So if this from the inventory management perspective, from consumers, mentioned earlier again is they got to know more from the merchants, and then they got offer more and the better services, more customized, and they feel like they really know me, and then they know what I like, and then that's what I need to buy. So they're happy customers, higher purchase value. In the end of the day, happier merchants. In the end of the day,
Right.
and something I can mention this: the customer, the membership as well. Normally in the past is you have someone purchase online, you can create a profile, but you don't really actually adding your offline membership to the online as well. So you don't sync them together. You don't know each other. They don't talk to each other. But bring that together as a smart retail solution. They talk to each other. The data connects. Again, you got a very powerful membership system now by giving the email marketing, the text message marketing, the automated purchase could be generated 24/7. Depends, how much you want to get at the end of the day.
Right. No, very resourceful. Thank you for that, Alyson. And finally, Alyson, what advice would you give to small business owners looking to stay competitive and successful in the ever-evolving world of e-commerce? And are there any success stories or examples that you'd like to sprinkle from Shoplazza that illustrate these principles and actions?
No problem. Again, I think open your mind, and then try something small. That's what I often find that's easy to get overcome with overwhelmed, a vast technology advancement. Every day you hear something new, you feel like, oh my God, I'm losing the word. I don't catch what people are saying. But start something small, as I mentioned earlier. Content, pictures, modeling, even just try, I have Instagram account. Why not we try to have a store just by selecting the pictures and then try different style. So those things can get people to get in touch with that technology, which they can talk to the technology at the first place, and then continuously don't be afraid of having something new, and then start now, but never not to start. So
Right.
that's, I think, really the key is data powerhouse, open-minded, try something you're comfortable with. Then you become, and then talk to the community, talk to the people, and then hear different stories. Then that gives you more inspirations, because you just never know what's the next tool could be useful for you to do. But
Right.
just try it out. Right. So I guess that's the recommendation. I think everyone. I would like to share with all the people here. For the success story, yes, I have a very brilliant story I would like to share. Is we have a optical store owner who has a very expensive store in Yorkville, downtown Toronto.
Okay.
So that's very expensive place,
Yes.
very expensive. But they do see their demographic are slightly changing, which means they're aging.
Right.
They don't get many Gen Z walking to their store anymore.
Of course.
And then previously it was millennium with the younger generation, but now millennium are getting older too. So
Yeah.
they're worried, even though they're having very boutique and fantastic services, but they don't get enough traffic. And then they want to get connected to Gen Z. And then when we reach out to them and say, hey, we have the online store solution and we have everything, you can virtual try on. And you can, getting to know their better. You can push the different seasonal, glasses, new frames, and they're so excited. They're
Right.
like, we would like to try, and then they get their store set up, and they get all the media assets put online, and then they do see, how the Gen Z are using their try on, because we show them the data. That's the power of the data. You see the analytics, even though you don't see the people actually, go to your online store and searching, browsing. But however, you see the data. People are coming to the store, staying with certain pages for certain minutes a time, and also they do the try on, how many times they do the try on, and then whether they put onto their cart or not.
Right.
Those are all to us the funnel data, which is very valuable for them to
It is.
do the final push.
Right.
So they're excited. So now they have the virtual try on and on every frame they have,
Okay.
and then try to engage with different younger generation. And then we also have a function help them to share by one-click share. So if you try on, you can share the picture on your Instagram, on your social, on your Facebook, on your TikTok. And then by that
Right.
way, people at least, first of all, you can look pretty and look trendy. But secondly, people get to know, that's a store they visited online, or they can just walk into the store offline as well. And then I think the glasses, what they see, they're in Yorkville, so they see the glasses not a function anymore. So previously it was function, people having the sight issues and they need the glasses to put on to make the visual not blurring. But now it becomes a icon. For
fashion statement.
Fashion
Yes,
statement for
yes.
individual. Like, I'm a person, I like to be in that style. I show people who I am. So that's what they feel the urge of getting to the Gen Z. They have so
Right.
much of the great collections, great, iconic, stylish frames. Not expensive. Not everyone are expensive, because branded ones are always expensive. But they have other good suppliers giving them the great design, great texture and quality. But just don't know. People don't know. So we see them and we feel happy to help people who feel like they're behind the general tendency or trends, but with our technology they feel like they catch up. They
Right.
caught to the trends, and then now they're having their Gen Z consumers visiting their store even online. They're happy and they get
Yeah.
purchased. So in the end of the day, we say happy customer, happy merchants, and then we are happy.
You really took us through the entire experience of how a local business can utilize,
Yes.
multiple
for
tools
sure.
available to them. But thank you so much, Alyson, for sharing your expertise and your knowledge with us here today, and also, letting us know how Shoplazza is really out there to change the industry's future, right? And I feel like our listeners would gain a lot of knowledge from your experience and from your expertise today, and especially those who are navigating the dynamic world of e-commerce, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
thank you so much for your time for joining us
No
today.
problem, and thank you. And I'm again honored to share our technology. And we aim to help small business, especially brick and mortar retailers. They suffer the most,
Right.
and then they have the lack of the most resources as well. So everything is tech savvy, but we want to make things simplified. Really knowing their business cycle, knowing their pain, and then be able to help them.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Alyson, for your time.
You're welcome.
And that concludes another insightful episode of the Canadian SME Small Business Podcast. We hope you enjoyed our conversation with Alyson Zhang, COO and Head of Global at Shoplazza. Exciting e-commerce trends on the horizon. Alyson's extensive background in law and finance and e-commerce provided us with valuable insights into the future of online business. Remember, you can find more episodes and resources on our website at CanadianSME.ca. Before we wrap up, we'd like to extend our heartfelt thanks to our exclusive partners who make this podcast possible. Special thanks to our exclusive banking partner, RBC, for their unwavering support. We also appreciate the expertise of our exclusive shipping partner, UPS, for helping businesses reach their customers worldwide. And last but not least, a big shout out to our exclusive accounting software partner, Xero, for simplifying financial management for small businesses. If you found value in today's episode, please don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review Small Business Podcast on your favorite podcast platform. Your feedback helps us bring more valuable content. Thank you for tuning in, and until next time, keep innovating, keep growing, and keep succeeding in your small business journey. We'll be back with another episode of the Canadian SME Small Business Podcast.